Namaste and welcome back to Temples, Books and Science. I am ArchanaRaghuram. Before we start, just a quick reminder that I have created a separate playlist to make this series easier to follow. It's called Lalita Sahasranamam in Bites and it has short videos focusing on each name individually. You will find a link to that playlist in the description below. Now let's get started. Today we arrive at a critical juncture in our exploration of the Lalita Sahasranamam. The final stage of the battle against Bhandasura is upon us. This is not merely a clash of cosmic forces, but a profound struggle between ignorance and knowledge, a quest for liberation. Victory here signifies the transcendence of samsara, the illusion of bondage, limitation and mortality, and the rediscovery of our inherent divinity. However, this journey is far from easy. The ignorance we seek to overcome has been accumulated over countless lifetimes, deeply rooted in our minds. It's akin to the struggle of a schizophrenic who, even when logically understanding their delusions, finds it immensely difficult to break free. Similarly, even when we intellectually grasp the concept of our limitless Brahman nature, we struggle to internalize it, to truly live it. That is why, despite the profound simplicity of Atmajnanam, just 3 words, Tattvamasi, you are Brahman, the path to its realization demands a monumental internal battle. It's a process of cleansing our inner landscape, destroying the negative forces and ignorance that obscure our true self. As Atma Swarupam, Lalita Devi symbolizes the innate power within us to conquer this avidya, this ignorance that has been accumulated over countless lifetimes, highlighting that the means for liberation resides within us. Here, in the final stage of the battle, we witness how the goddess destroys this ingrained and deep-rooted ignorance. The goddess wields 2 potent weapons, the Mahapashupatastra to annihilate Bhandasura's army and the Kameshwara Astra to destroy Bhandasura himself. With this background, let's now delve into the 81st name, Mahapashupatastragni Nirdhagda Surasainika, which translates to she who incinerated the army of Asuras using the Mahapashupatastra. To truly comprehend the significance of these astras, we must delve into the depths of Advaita Vedanta. The Mahapashupatastra embodies a crucial teaching of Advaita Vedanta. It's called Atma Anatma Viveka. You have likely heard the term Viveka, which is often translated as wisdom. However, in the context of Advaita Vedanta, it represents a specialized wisdom, the discernment between self and non-self, also known as Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka. The wisdom to know what is permanent and what is impermanent, what is real and what is unreal. Atma Anatma Viveka is the profound understanding that we are not this limited body, mind and intellect, but rather the Atma, the all-pervading limitless Brahman. This understanding is vital because the Atma is Nityam, eternal, while everything else, including our bodies and minds, is Anityam, impermanent. Let's understand why this wisdom is crucial. We are often attached to our body and mind, and by extension our positions and relationships. This Nitya Vastu Viveka helps us release these attachments by realizing their impermanence. According to Advaita Vedanta, all worldly objects, including our bodies and minds, possess 3 fundamental flaws. Dukkha Hetu, they are a source of unhappiness. They are the cause of sorrow. Acquiring them involves pain, maintaining them is difficult, and losing them is heartbreaking. The pursuit, maintenance, and the loss of these objects all bring pain. Atrupti Karatvam, they cause dissatisfaction. They can never provide lasting satisfaction. There will always be a sense of incompleteness with all worldly possessions. Bandhakatvam, they bind us. They create addictions and they bind us, hindering our ability to let go. This is the greatest obstacle to Atma Jnana. All Anitya Vastus share these flaws. Until we truly understand, accept and internalize this truth, Atma Jnana remains elusive. This understanding is Atma Anatma Vastu Viveka. It is this clear wisdom that acts as the fire of Mahapashupatastra, burning away the illusions that bind us. Once this wisdom takes root, we are liberated from attachments and fearless in letting go. The Mahapashupatastra's complete incineration of asuras symbolizes the liberation from attachments and bondage through the power of wisdom, paving the way for the true knowledge of the self. In the Sri Vidya tradition, this Atma Anatma Vastu Viveka is called Mahapashupata Vidya. While there are deeper reasons for this terminology, it suffices to understand that Mahapashupata Vidya is the Atma Anatma Vastu Viveka of Advaita Vedanta. Moreover, Mahapashupata is also the name of a mantra in Sri Vidya. It is a mantra which specifically aids in achieving Viveka. This mirrors the pattern we have seen with the previous Astras, where each represents both a body of knowledge and a potent mantra. You may wonder why both are needed. While the knowledge provided by these texts is essential, we also need the power of mantras for that knowledge to take root and be practically applied. That's why every Vidya is complemented by a corresponding mantra, serving as complementary tools that empower each other. Thus, the 81st name, Mahapashupatastragni Nirdagda Surasainika, meaning she who with the great fire of Mahapashupata Astra has completely burnt away the army of Asuras, represents the power of Mahapashupata Vidya. It signifies the complete destruction of all offshoots of ignorance, our attachments to the body, mind and the world. Now we move to the 82nd name, the final act in this cosmic drama, the culmination of the war against ignorance. Kameshwara Astra Nirdagda Bhandasura Shunyaka. This name translates to she who completely burnt, incinerated Bhandasura and his city Shunyaka by wielding the Kameshwara Astra. It describes the decisive moment when Lalita Devi destroys not only the personification of ignorance, Bhandasura, but also its very foundation, his city Shunyaka. Here is an interesting revelation. Kameshwara is another name for Atma, the self. There is a profound reason why Atma is called Kameshwara. Kameshwara means Lord of Desires or the supreme object of desire. Advaita Vedanta proclaims that what every living being truly desires is Atma. This is beautifully illustrated in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in the dialogue between Yajnavalkya and his wife Maitreyi. Yajnavalkya tells Maitreyi, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. It is because we desire the self, everything else is dear to us. Why do we say everyone desires the Atma? Think about it for a minute. What is it that we are all seeking? We yearn for immortality, freedom from death, and everlasting, undepletable happiness. We crave omnipresence, which is reflected in our pursuit of fame, wealth, and power. These are all qualities of Atma, immortal, all-pervading, the very personification of bliss, Sat Chit Ananda. This is consciousness, this is Brahman, this is Atma, our true self. However, because we are confused with our identity, because we have identified ourselves with this limited body and mind, we mistakenly seek these qualities in the external world. We want our body to be immortal, we seek permanent happiness through relationships and possessions. But this limited body and the illusionary world can never give us these things. Hence, life becomes a constant struggle, a restless pursuit of the unattainable. In that famous dialogue in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, this is what Yajnavalkya reveals to Maitreyi. Our love for everything external is ultimately rooted in our love for the self. But because we are deluded, we project this love onto the impermanent, seeking fulfillment where it can never be found. The only way we can find these qualities of immortality, omnipresence and bliss is by knowing the Atma. If only we realized that what we truly desire is already within us, as our very nature, then this struggle would end. Therefore, Kameshwara, the Lord of desires, is none other than the Atma itself. That Atma, that which we universally desire, is the Kameshwara Astra, the final missile which the goddess wields. Here, you should also pay close attention to the sequence of the battle. Lalita Devi first destroys all the offshoots of ignorance, all the manifestations of the ego and negativity. Only then are we ready for Kameshwara to destroy the fundamental ignorance, the avidya, which is the root cause of suffering. Why can this ultimate destruction of ignorance only happen when all other aspects of ignorance are destroyed? Let me explain with an analogy. Imagine trying to see your reflection in a pond of water. The pond represents your mind and your reflection is your true self, the Atma. As long as the pond is swirling and disturbed by ripples, representing the constant agitation of our thoughts, desires and attachments, you can never see your reflection clearly. The surface is clouded by the turbulence of our emotions, the waves of our desires, and the debris of our past experiences. We see only a distorted, fragmented image of ourselves. The previous battles, the previous Shaktis like Sampatkari, Ashwaruda, and Mantrini all work to calm these disturbances. These efforts by the previous Shaktis are like gently stilling the pond, gradually reducing the ripples and calming the surface. Only once the pond is completely still, when all the ripples have subsided, can you see yourself clearly for who you really are. This perfect stillness, achieved through the grace of the goddess and the application of Viveka, is necessary for the Atma, our true self, to be reflected without distortion. So the 82nd name, Kameshwarastra Nirdagda Bhandasura Shunyaka, signifies the culmination of this process. It represents the destruction of ignorance at its root, the realization of our true self and the attainment of liberation through the grace of Lalita Devi and the power of Kameshwara. So what happens when this state of perfect stillness, this complete eradication of ignorance is attained? What is the outcome of the Kameshwara Astra's decisive action? We find the answer in the next name, the 83rd name, Brahmopendra Mahendradi Deva Samstuta Vaibhava. At a literal level, this name translates to she whose glory is praised by Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva and all the Devas. In the context of the Bhandasura story, this makes perfect sense. All these gods had performed yajna, invoking the goddess and seeking her assistance in defeating Bhandasura. Now that she has accomplished this monumental task, they are expressing their gratitude and singing her praises. However, as we have seen throughout this journey, the Lalita Sahasranamam is rich with layers of meaning. There is a deep Advaitic interpretation to this name, one that goes beyond simple praise. The word samstuta is typically translated as praised or worshipped, but it also carries another profound meaning. It means realized or known directly. Therefore, a more accurate Advaitic translation would be Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva and all the Devas realized the Vaibhava, the infiniteness and omniscience of the self. Their ignorance, symbolized by Bhandasura and his city Shunyaka, has been completely burnt away by the goddess's Kameshwara Astra. Now there is nothing veiling the truth. The waters of their mind have become utterly still, reflecting the Atma without any distortion. In this state, they can finally see themselves as they truly are, the omniscient, immortal, blissful self. This is the essence of Samstuta Vaibhava. It signifies the direct experience, the realization of their own divine nature. This 83rd name therefore transcends the narrative of a cosmic battle. It speaks to the ultimate goal of spiritual practice, the realization of our true self. It tells us that the liberation achieved through the goddess's grace is not merely an external victory, but an internal transformation. It is the awakening of our own inherent divinity, the recognition that we are, in essence, Brahman. This brings us to an important and often asked question. If we are Brahman, then why is worship necessary? Once we realize our true nature, we understand there is no difference between us and God. So where is the need for worship? It should be noted that worship or bhakti is an important sadhana in Advaita Vedanta. Bhakti is often recognized as a significant path to jnana, knowledge, the direct realization of non-duality. Devotion serves as a powerful means to purify the mind, cultivate detachment from worldly desires, and develop the necessary inner stillness and focus required for self-enquiry. While bhakti is often seen as a preparatory stage for jnana, its role does not necessarily cease with liberation. For a Jivan Mukta, the one who is liberated, the continuation of devotional practices can manifest as a spontaneous expression of the profound bliss and love that accompany the realization of oneness. Having directly experienced the divine essence, the Jivan Mukta's heart may naturally overflow with devotion, not as an obligation, but as a joyous outpouring of their true nature. This is considered the highest form of bhakti, a bhakti born out of non-duality. Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita speaks of 4 types of bhaktas: Artha, Artharthi, Jignasu and Jnani. Imagine someone who only remembers God when they are in trouble. That's the Artha Bhakta. Then there is someone who prays daily for wealth and success, for material well-being. That's the Artharthi Bhakta. The Jignasu Bhakta is the spiritual seeker, interested only in understanding the self. This is a higher form of devotion because God is not used as a means to an end, but is the end in itself, representing a pure desire for spiritual understanding. Finally, the Jnani Bhakta, the enlightened one, sees God in everything because they know they are Brahman. Their love for God is the ultimate expression of self-love, a state known as Sarvatma Bhava, seeing oneself in the entire universe. Therefore, the worship expressed by Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva and the Devas in this 83rd name is not merely an external act of gratitude, but a profound expression of their realized oneness, a spontaneous outpouring of the bliss of Atma Jnanam. It is the highest form of bhakti, the bhakti of a jnani. As we reach the conclusion of the epic battle against Bhandasura, we encounter the 84th name, Haranetragni Sandagda Kama Sanjeeva Naushadihi. This name translates to she who brought back to life Manmata, the god of love, who was burned to ashes by the fire from Shiva's eyes. To understand the significance of this name, we must recall the origins of Bhandasura. As we discussed in the second episode of this series, Manmata, also known as Kama, attempted to disturb Shiva's meditation by shooting his arrow of love. In response, Shiva opened his third eye, incinerating Manmata. From Manmata's ashes, Bhandasura was born. Now with Bhandasura destroyed, Rati Devi, Manmata's wife, pleads to Lalita Devi for the restoration of her husband. Lalita Devi, in her infinite compassion, revives Manmata. She grants Manmata the quality of Ananga or formlessness to demonstrate that love transcends the limitation of physical form. She also blesses Rati Devi, ensuring that he will be visible only to her. Thus, the divine play of creation, preservation, and dissolution comes full circle. This name marks the culmination of a significant episode in the Lalita Sahasranamam. Here, I want you to remember something. This hymn, a masterpiece of divine poetry, was composed by the Vagdevis themselves. They are the goddesses of speech and poetry. Surely we wouldn't expect such divine poets to conclude with a simple story, would we? There is a deep, profound, and transformative meaning woven into this name, waiting to be revealed. Let's break down its components to understand its deeper symbolism. Sandagdha Kama signifies those whose desires have been completely consumed, incinerated. Sandagdha Kama means those who have transcended desires, the yogis. Haranetragni refers to the fire from Shiva's third eye. Shiva's third eye is the eye of knowledge. Therefore, Haranetragni represents the fire of knowledge. Combining these, Haranetragni Sandagdha Kama means those whose desires have been incinerated in the fire of knowledge. Those who have transcended desires and attained Atma Jnanam, the knowledge of the self. Interestingly, Lord Krishna too uses the same metaphor in Bhagavad Gita. Jnanagni Dagda Karmani, he proclaims. The fire of knowledge burns away all karmas. Now, coming back to the name, Sanjeevana means Amritatvam or immortality. Aushadhi means medicine or cure. So, Haranetragni Sandagdha Kama Sanjeevan Aushadhi means she is like the medicine that cures the darkness of ignorance and grants immortality to those who have transcended desires. This is essentially the Palastuti, the concluding verse found in most traditional hymns. A Palastuti describes the benefit of chanting a hymn, and you will find this at the end of Lalita Sahasranamam as well. This final name in the battle episode serves a similar purpose, acting as a Palastuti. It reveals the benefit of Atma Jnanam. If you eradicate your ignorance and desires in the fire of knowledge, you will attain immortality. This is not all. To fully appreciate the beauty and significance of this name, let's examine the narrative more closely. Superficially, this story might seem disconnected from the main battle. Ideally, the narrative should have concluded with the previous name, where the gods express their gratitude for Bhandasura's defeat. Reviving Manmata, on the face of it, appears unrelated to the core objective of vanquishing ignorance. We have this name here because the story itself conveys the profound Palastuti. Goddess Lalita Devi revives Manmata and blesses him with Ananga, formlessness. Ananga literally means one without a body. This symbolizes the state attained through Atma Jnanam. By burning away desires in the fire of knowledge, one transcends identification with the physical body, achieving a state of immortality. The formlessness of Manmata mirrors the formless eternal nature of Atma, realized when ignorance is destroyed. How truly breathtaking is this name! Observe the deliberate choice of words, beginning with Hara, the name of Shiva meaning the destroyer of ignorance. Notice how seamlessly it weaves a captivating narrative while simultaneously revealing a profound spiritual truth. This intricate layering of meaning present in each name we have explored is a testament to the sheer poetic brilliance of the Vagdevis. And so, with this beautiful Palastuti, this profound revelation of the benefits of Atma Jnanam, the hymn concludes its description of the cosmic battle against ignorance. We have journeyed through the epic narrative, witnessing the divine play of Lalita Devi and her Shaktis as they vanquish the forces of avidya. Now, as we reach the end of this chapter, we prepare to embark on a new beginning. As I have explained before, the goddess Lalita Tripura Sundari manifests in three forms. the Stula, the gross form accessible to our senses, the Sukshma, the subtle form or mantra form, and the Karana, the supreme form represented by the Sri Chakra. Our exploration so far has focused on the Stula form, the narrative of the cosmic battle and the manifestation of the divine power. In our next episode, we will delve into the Sukshma form, the subtle essence of the goddess which resides in her mantra form. So, prepare yourself for a new dimension of understanding, a journey into the heart of the goddess's mantra swarupam. I invite you to join me as we unveil the secrets of the Sukshma form in our next episode. Thank you for joining me on this sacred journey. May the grace and blessings of the goddess Lalita Tripurasundari guide and inspire you on your spiritual path. Om Shri Matre Namaha. Namaste.